my name is Leah Diepenbrook, and this is my pitch about my documentary that is called Just Adam. The outline, I'm going to make an observational expository documentary. It will be about Adam and how his Asperger's syndrome affects him in early life and him now. I'm going to have an interview with his family members, so like his mum and his sibling, and going to have found footage of like him when he was younger and like him having like a tantrum when he gets frustrated to like show what Asperger's is like. And as well, I found out a lot of facts about autism. The runtime, basically 1 to 2 minutes is the interview with his mum, 2 to 3 minutes is the interview with his sibling, just asking questions like, would you take away his like Asperger's, do you love him for having Asperger's, like were there times when it's difficult and like you weren't comfortable with him, or like any questions like that. And then 3 to 4 minutes is Adam in his room. I came up with this idea because Adam, like everyone's room kind of explains himself, so I wanted him to go through like his favourite things. Like I know he's into dictators and he has like a dictator book. I wanted to talk about like his belongings and everything. And then talks about like that, yeah, that goes on to his favourite things, like he says his cat means a lot to him as well. And then also we're going to visit his school. He said that he was comfortable doing that, and visiting that was the place where he said his Asperger's affected him the most, and he felt like a lot different from having it. And then I have a reflection with Adam, like would he get rid of his autism, or does he like that fact that it's part of him, and like asking those style of questions. And then the 7 to 8 minutes will be facts about autism, how many people it affects, and there's no cure for it. And then yeah, and credits and everything like that. So my maximum runtime would be 8.5 minutes, and my minimum runtime would be 7.5. This is my production schedule, so hopefully next week I will finish my research about everything, and then during Easter I hopefully will finish my pre-production work, and then if I don't finish my pre-production work and still need to do like more test shots about how it's going to be shot and everything, then I hopefully will film on the 29th to 23rd of April in that week, going to where he lives and then interviewing his mum and everything. And then yeah, and then I have basically the last 3 weeks to edit, make a promotional video, which I'm hopefully going to go on Channel 4 with like Dispatches documentaries, kind of like trying to make it fit into like that category, because I feel that was where most of my audience would be. And then yeah, hopefully finish on the 24th of May. My target audience would be a mix between the Explorer and the Reformer. Both of them would have some sort of understanding of autism, but would be interested in an insight to someone with the condition, as both of them kind of have the need for enlightenment, so no more knowledge or discovery with the Explorer. However, I would want to aim it more at the mainstream audience, as from research I've learned that like I learned about Amy, the documentary about Amy Winehouse, and because it was such a common like thing, everyone knew who she was, it was really successful, and it was like more successful than like a normal action movie. So I tried to aim it more to a mainstream audience. And
I hope you enjoy my film that is not by me, but about me.
Some really good stuff. Any questions from the group?
I have one.
And I thought you would. Yeah, go on.
Have you thought about like thinking of ways like aiming it towards people with like Asperger's and autism, and thinking like this is ways you could help deal with it or anything like that?
Yeah, I kind of do want Adam to, because I feel like Adam
I feel like he
has like a quite good social like connection with everyone. I feel like he has like good friendships, and like he's obviously developed that, and he said it took him a long time to get to the point where he could understand like facial expressions and stuff like that. And learning about it is a really hard thing. Like most of them do have social anxiety and stuff like that. So yeah, I would ask Adam questions which are quite like he would say how he helped.
Yeah, I
like
think
how
that'd
he
be very
helped himself,
helpful
yeah, and stuff like that. So like it would be other people relate to him.
Leading on from that, looking at your really good runtime that you've gone through, you've really thought about the structure of your documentary.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a section of positives, why it might be great to have Asperger's? Or
Yeah, I want to ask, that's the kind of goes into like if Adam would get rid of it or whether he loves it, so it would be like both benefits and like, because I think a benefit of this is the fact that he is above average intelligence, like he's amazing at history.
He's an extraordinary person.
Yeah, exactly, he's very
interesting.
So and I want him to talk about all of the, he knows about dictators and all, he knows about history and dinosaurs. He said that it was his younger interest as well, so like it would be really nice to have all of that.
Yes.
Like
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? I've got a couple more that I want to ask.
I'm good.
Right. You mentioned just a legal issue. The school. Do they know about this? Have you got permission yet? Where are you at with that?
Adam said he didn't want to go into it
Okay.
because he said he would feel uncomfortable being back in there. But we could probably just go outside, or if not, he said he could film it on his favourite place, which is like the beach.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's kind of just like...
It sounds like you're going to be saying the school was a tough place for him.
Yeah.
It could potentially be a legal issue that you're running the school down, and that if you're
Yeah.
using their grounds or the image of the school, just something that, have you looked
Yeah.
into that yet? Have you
No.
done any research into that?
But I will look into that and
Yeah.
see what legal stuff. If it comes across as a legal thing, I can't say anything upon it, then Adam could just say school instead of saying what school he went
Absolutely,
to,
yeah.
and then that avoids the thing completely.
It's an area that I'd like you to look
Yeah.
into. If you're going to use the grounds of the school or the
Yeah.
image of the school or the name in any way,
Yeah.
it's definitely something.
Yeah,
I'd
so
like you to think
if
about.
it says no, then I will...
And then the appeal of this documentary. You looked at the target audience and did some good work with that. How are you going to make sure, given that you're close to Adam and as a group we're close to Adam, how do you make sure there's a wider appeal for a bigger audience than just our class? Like, my worry is, and I think
Yeah.
probably something you've considered, is
Yeah.
that
It's
this
just
is
going to
just
look like
gonna
a
be-
thing for our class.
well, just going to be fun because we all know him. Like, how
Yeah.
do you make it a bigger documentary than that?
I want to try and make it like, even though Adam is like a fun character, I want to make it as serious as possible, kind of like with the in-depth thing. And watching Chris Packman's Asperger's and Me, he does go into a lot of depth. Even though he goes into the research side of like what cures there are and stuff like that, I have collected questions which are quite questions that you probably wouldn't ask in a normal conversation, but as I'm making this documentary, I do kind of want it to be like informative kind of thing. So yeah.
And then last question, where does this documentary live afterwards? Is it for a competition? Is it for
I was looking
Channel
at
4? Is it, you know?
Yeah, I was looking at competitions. There was a video which was a poem about London or something, and it looked pretty bad. I feel like I would, if I had money for it, because I think it's like €35 or something like that. But yeah, but I would want to enter it into documentaries and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'd upload it to YouTube, because then obviously it's owned by me and YouTube. I could probably put it on Vimeo, because then I still own it. But
And
yeah.
then maybe enter into a competition.
Yeah, maybe into a competition, because if it turns out good, then yeah. If I'm really proud of it, then yeah. So yeah.
And then the final thing, Adam's permission, Adam's family's permission.
Yeah.
Have you got that written already? Have you got that? Are you getting it?
I've asked Adam a lot about what he's comfortable with and what he's not comfortable with. I asked him about his tantrum and how he can get frustrated with himself. I was asking if he wanted to recreate it, because that would be like, he can control how bad it is or whatever. Yeah. And he said there is footage of him in school, but then that would obviously go across legal things. But if the legal things is fine, I could use that. But Adam said he's completely fine with showing like everything, and I've also put on my production schedule as well. I want to show it to the family, or give Adam a copy, like a rough edit, to show to the family, show it to Adam, like make sure.
Have you got
everything.
anything in writing yet for permission? Not that I think Adam's going to take that permission away, but
No, I haven't got anything in writing. That's where it comes in pre-production and Easter. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
All of the.
You're fine to have done that, I guess. To have done this much work on the project already. If you were doing this in the real world, you probably want to have got written permission already.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all of this work would be
Yeah.
if you suddenly said no,
Yeah.
you want it already sewn up in writing.
Yeah, it's kind of all been word of mouth type thing. He has asked his mum, and he has asked like, I don't know, he's told me the sibling's name, but I've forgotten. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Really good. Another round of applause. Come on.